Welcome everyone. Today we're diving deep into a topic that touches every single one of us, relationships. And if there's one thing that can make or break your happiness, it's the quality of your relationships. But today we're not just going to talk about problems, we're going to talk about solutions. And we're going to break free from the biggest relationship killer, lack of communication. You see, relationships are not about the things we have or the milestones we hit. At the end of the day, they're about connection. The moments where you and your partner look at each other and you just know you're on the same page, heart to heart. If you want honesty in your relationship, it all starts with creating a space where both partners feel absolutely safe emotionally, mentally, spiritually to express themselves without any fear of judgment. Think about it. How can someone open up to you, share their truth if they're afraid they'll be criticized, laughed at, or misunderstood? That's where most relationships go wrong. We all crave to be understood, to be seen, but we're scared. Scared that if we say the wrong thing, the other person will reject us or maybe even leave. But here's the truth. Real connection happens when both partners can be vulnerable. Vulnerability is where intimacy lives. It's where trust is born. If you want honesty, you have to be willing to give it too. That means no attacking, no shaming, no interrupting. It's about listening with your heart, not just your ears. And here's the thing, if your partner feels safe to express what's really going on inside of them, you'll have a level of connection that most people never experience. You can't just expect trust, you have to build it. Brick by brick. It's about showing your partner that no matter what they say, you're there, you're present, and you're in it together. You can't control what they feel, but you can control how you respond. And when you respond with empathy and understanding, guess what happens? Walls come down, defenses drop. And suddenly you're not two individuals battling it out. You're a team working together to navigate life. So commit to it. Decide right now that you're going to be that safe space for your partner. And when you do, you'll unlock a depth of honesty, connection, and trust that can withstand anything life throws your way. Take this even further. Think about what happens when you feel truly safe in any area of your life. You open up, right? You feel free to be yourself, to share your deepest thoughts, your fears, your dreams. In relationships, that's exactly what's needed. But too often we create environments where our partner feels like they have to guard themselves. They're walking on eggshells, afraid of saying the wrong thing because they don't know how you'll react. And here's the thing, if someone feels they have to hide, you'll never get to the truth of what they're feeling or thinking. Building trust means removing the fear of being judged. It means you create a place where your partner knows no matter what they say, whether it's about something small like a rough day at work or something huge like a deep-seated fear or insecurity, you won't lash out or withdraw. You won't make them feel stupid or wrong. You'll listen not just to the words, but to the emotion behind them. And that takes practice. It takes patience. But when you get it right, the reward is priceless. A relationship where both of you are fully seen and understood. Now, it's easy to say, be honest, talk to me, but how do you show your partner they're safe with you? It's not just about saying you can trust me. Trust isn't built with words, it's built with actions. Every single time you listen without interrupting, without getting defensive, you're reinforcing that safety. Every time you respond with empathy instead of judgment, you're telling your partner, I'm here, I've got your back. And let's be real, this doesn't mean you agree with everything your partner says. It doesn't mean you'll never have conflict. But it means you create a foundation where even when there are disagreements, you respect each other enough to have the conversation from a place of understanding, not accusation. You're not looking to win or be right, you're looking to connect. When you create that safe space, you unlock deeper layers of who your partner really is. You allow them to bring their full selves to the relationship, their joys, their pain, their fears, things they might never share with anyone else. And when you can both be fully honest without fear, that's when the real magic happens. That's where intimacy lies, not the surface level stuff, but the deep, unshakable connection where both of you feel truly seen and loved for who you are. So make the decision. Decide that from this moment forward, you're going to be that place of safety and trust. You're going to be the one who listens with your heart, who offers empathy instead of judgment, who creates an environment where both of you can be fully vulnerable. And when you do that, you'll experience a level of honesty and connection that transforms not just your relationship, but your life. Listening is something we think we do well, but let's be real, most of us don't. we're not really listening, we're just waiting for our turn to speak. We're formulating our response, thinking about how to defend ourselves, or waiting to jump in and prove our point. And guess what happens when you do that? You miss the most important part, the real message behind the words. If you truly want to transform your relationship, you have to learn to listen to understand, not just to respond. This is one of the most powerful shifts you can make. When your partner is talking, they're not just delivering information, they're expressing emotions, needs, and desires. And if you're too busy thinking about how to react or defend your position, you'll miss the opportunity to connect with them on a deeper level. So how do you do this? First, be fully present. That means shutting off the internal dialogue in your head, putting away distractions like your phone or TV, and focusing 100% on your partner. Give them your undivided attention. To show them through your body language and eye contact that you are there with them in that moment. It's about more than just hearing the words, it's about understanding the emotions behind those words. Second, resist the urge to fix things right away. A lot of times when we listen, especially when it comes to people we love, we want to jump in and solve their problems. But often they don't need a solution, they need to feel heard. They need to know that their feelings are valid, that you understand where they're coming from, and that you're there to support them emotionally. This can be hard, especially if you're a natural problem solver, but it's crucial for real communication. Next, use reflective listening. This is a powerful tool that helps ensure you truly understand what your partner is trying to say. After they've spoken, repeat back to them what you heard in your own words. For example, you might say, so what I'm hearing is that you're feeling overwhelmed and stressed out at work, and you're looking for more support from me at home. This shows that you're engaged in the conversation and care about their perspective. It also gives your partner a chance to clarify if you misunderstood something. And here's something important, don't take everything personally. Sometimes your partner may express frustration or disappointment, and it's easy to feel attacked or get defensive. But remember, their feelings aren't about you, they're about them. When you listen without defensiveness, you allow them to express their emotions honestly without fear of retaliation or argument. This opens the door to deeper connection. Also notice the emotional cues. It's not always the words they're saying that matter most, it's the tone, the body language, the pauses. These can give you insight into what's really going on beneath the surface. Maybe they say they're fine, but their body language is tense, or their voice cracks with emotion. By paying attention to these subtle signals, you can pick up on what your partner might not be saying directly. Finally, express empathy. After listening, don't rush to your own point of view or jump in with your own stories. Instead, acknowledge their feelings. Something as simple as, I can see why that's upsetting for you, or that sounds really tough, can make all the difference. When your partner feels truly heard and understood, they're more likely to open up even further. And that's when real communication and trust take root. So if you want a relationship that thrives, make the commitment to listen deeply, not just with your ears, but with your whole being. Listen to understand, to connect, to show that you care. When you do that, you'll be amazed at how much closer you feel to your partner and how much stronger your relationship becomes. Here's the deal, most of us walk around expecting our partner to read our minds. We think if they really loved me, they'd just know what I need, they'd get me. But let me tell you something, no one, no matter how much they love you, is a mind reader. If you want to build a thriving relationship, you have to be crystal clear about your needs and desires. Now, I get it. Sometimes we're afraid to express what we need because we don't want to sound selfish. Or maybe we think if I have to tell them, it doesn't count, but that's a dangerous trap. Here's the truth, communication is the foundation of every successful relationship. If you're not telling your partner what you need, you're setting them up to fail. And more importantly, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Think about it, how many times have you felt frustrated because your partner didn't do something that was obvious to you? Maybe you needed more emotional support during a tough time, or you wanted them to step up and help with the kids or household chores. You didn't say anything because you thought they should just know. But when they didn't do what you expected, resentment started to build. That's where the breakdown begins, and it's all because the expectations were unspoken. So Here's the key, say it out loud. If you need something from your partner, tell them. Be specific. Don't just say, I need more support or I want more affection. Instead, say, it would mean a lot to me if you could ask how my day was when I come home. Or I feel really connected to you when you hold my hand or hug me more often. The clearer you are, the easier it is for your partner to understand exactly how they can show up for you. And listen, this goes both ways. Encourage your partner to be just as clear with you. Ask them, what do you need from me? How can I support you? Better relationships are a two-way street. And when both people feel comfortable expressing their needs, magic happens. Suddenly, you're not guessing or hoping they'll figure it out. You're working together as a team to meet each other's needs and grow closer. Here's another important point. Don't wait until you're frustrated or resentful to speak up. Don't let things simmer under the surface until they explode in an argument. Instead, make it a habit to communicate your needs regularly, openly, and with love. When you're proactive about it, you avoid misunderstandings and create a relationship built on mutual respect and understanding. And remember, this asking for what you need isn't selfish, it's essential. You're not only helping yourself by expressing your needs, but you're also giving your partner the opportunity to show up for you in the way you deserve. Most of the time, people want to make their partner happy, they just don't know how. When you're clear about what makes you feel loved, appreciated, or supported, you make it easier for your partner to be successful in loving you. So take a deep breath and stop holding back. Stop expecting your partner to read your mind. Be brave enough to be vulnerable, to say what you need, and to ask for what you want. When you do, you'll find that your relationship will shift from frustration and misunderstanding to deeper connection and fulfillment. And that's when you'll experience the kind of love and partnership that most people only dream of. Let me hit you with some hard truth. If you want to transform your relationship, you've got to take 100% responsibility for your part in it. That's right, minus 100%. Not 50, not 75 to 100%. I know what you're thinking, but Tony, what about my partner? They're not pulling their weight. I hear you. But here's the deal, you can't control what your partner does, but you can control you. And that's where your power lies. See, in relationships, we often point the finger, right? We say, if only they would do this, or if only they wouldn't do that. Things would be great. We get stuck in the blame game, thinking the problem is out there. But the moment you start blaming, you give away your power. You become a victim of circumstance, and that's the fastest way to feel stuck and frustrated. If you want real change, you've got to take ownership of how you show up. You've got to ask yourself, what am I bringing to this relationship? What can I do better? This isn't about blaming yourself either. It's about stepping into a place of personal power where you say, I'm going to own my part and I'm going to lead by example, because when you do that, it's amazing how things start to shift. When you stop blaming and start taking responsibility, you inspire your partner to do the same. Taking 100% responsibility means you're willing to look in the mirror and say, how can I communicate better? How can I show more love, more patience, more understanding? It means you don't wait for your partner to change, you lead the change. You become the catalyst. And here's the thing, when you shift, when you raise your standards for how you show up, the whole dynamic of the relationship changes. Suddenly, instead of two people stuck in a cycle of blame, you become two people focused on solutions. Now, I'm not saying you should tolerate bad behavior or ignore your partner's part in the equation. Of course not. But the moment you take full responsibility for your actions, your emotions, and how you react, you take back control of your happiness. You stop waiting for someone else to make you happy, and you start creating the relationship you want through your own actions. And here's another important point. When you take 100% responsibility, it doesn't mean you're always wrong or that you should ignore your needs. What it means is that you're owning how you respond to situations. Are you reacting out of frustration, anger, or fear? Or are you responding with empathy, patience, and understanding? When you take ownership of your reactions, you begin to break the patterns that lead to conflict and misunderstandings. Think about it, every time there's tension or a fight, there's an opportunity to learn something. Maybe you're triggered by something your partner said, but what if that's an invitation to look deeper at yourself? What if that frustration is pointing to something within you that needs healing or attention? When you take responsibility, you can use those moments to grow, both individually and as a couple. This is where real empowerment comes from. Because when you take 100% responsibility, you stop waiting for things to change, you become the change. You lead the way. You create a space where your partner can rise to meet you. And most importantly, you become the kind of partner who brings love, trust, and certainty into the relationship no matter what's happening on the outside. So right now, I challenge you, stop the blame game. Step up, take full responsibility for your role in the relationship, and watch how everything shifts. This isn't just about having a better relationship, it's about becoming the best version of you in that relationship. And when you do that, not only will you elevate your relationship, but you'll elevate your life. And that's where the magic happens. You said, let's dive into the heart of one of the most crucial aspects of relationships, finding the underlying emotion. You see, what we often focus on are the surface issues, the little arguments over chores, the stress of daily life, or the frustrations that seem to pop up out of nowhere. But if you really want to elevate your relationship, you've got to dig deeper. You've got to uncover what's really going on beneath the surface. When you argue about the dishes not being done or the laundry piling up, that's not really the issue, is it? Those are just the symptoms of a deeper problem. Maybe it's about feeling unappreciated. Maybe it's about feeling overwhelmed and unsupported. Or perhaps it's about a sense of disconnection that's been building over time. The real emotion driving those arguments might be fear, sadness, frustration, or even loneliness. It's essential to identify these emotions because when you understand the root cause, you can address the real issue rather than just slapping a Band-Aid on it. So how do you start uncovering these underlying emotions? First, pause and reflect. When you're in the heat of an argument, it's easy to get caught up in the heat of the moment and forget why you're even fighting. Take a breath, step back and ask yourself, what am I really feeling right now? What's at the core of this issue? Sometimes it can help to write it down. Journaling can be a powerful way to clarify your thoughts and feelings. When you see them on paper, the emotions become clearer and you can begin to understand what's really happening inside. Now, once you've identified those emotions, it's time to communicate them effectively. This is where so many people trip up. They express their frustration but don't communicate the feelings behind it. Instead of saying, I'm frustrated that you never help with the dishes, try saying, I feel overwhelmed and unsupported when I have to do all the household chores alone. It makes me feel unvalued and stressed. See the difference? By articulating the emotion behind your frustration, you open the door to a deeper conversation. You invite your partner to understand where you're coming from and to engage in a more meaningful dialogue. And here's another critical point, invite your partner to share their emotions too. Create an environment where both of you feel safe to express your true feelings. Ask open-ended questions like, what's really bothering you? Or how are you feeling about our relationship right now? You'd be amazed at how much clarity can come from simply asking those questions. When both partners express their underlying emotions, it can transform conflict into connection. Now be prepared sometimes. The emotions that come to the surface can be intense. You might uncover feelings of insecurity, fear of abandonment, or even past hurts that have never been addressed. But instead of shying away from these revelations, embrace them. This is where real healing happens. When you acknowledge those emotions, both in yourself and in your partner, you create a powerful opportunity for growth and intimacy. You're not just fixing a problem, you're deepening your bond and understanding of each other. Remember, relationships aren't just about avoiding conflict, they're about navigating through it together. And when you can uncover those underlying emotions, you can start to see each other in a new light. You become partners in the journey of understanding, healing, and growing together. So take the plunge. Don't settle for surface level conversations or conflicts. Dig deep and explore the real emotions driving your relationship dynamics. When you do, you'll unlock a level of intimacy and connection that most couples never reach. You'll build a relationship where both partners feel seen, heard, and valued. And that, my friends, is where the magic happens. Let's talk about one of the most transformative concepts in any relationship, creating a win-win situation. Now, I know what you're thinking, isn't that just about compromise? Well, let me tell you, compromise can sometimes feel like settling. You give up a piece of what you want, and they give up a piece of what they want, and you both walk away feeling a little bit dissatisfied. But when you focus on creating a win-win, you're not just settling for less, you're aiming for something greater, something that elevates both partners. So how do you shift your mindset from compromise to a true win-win? First, you have to adopt an abundance mentality. What do I mean by that? An abundance mentality says there's more than enough to go around. It believes that you can find solutions that satisfy both partners' needs rather than approaching problems from a scarcity mindset where you think, if I give in, I'll lose something. Now, the first step in creating a win-win situation is to clarify what you each truly want. Often, when we're in the heat of a disagreement, we focus on our position, the stance we've taken in the argument. But positions are not what matter, it's the underlying interests that count. What is it that you really want? What is it that your partner truly desires? So, sit down together and take the time to explore each other's needs and desires without judgment. For example, let's say you're arguing about how to spend your weekend. Instead of insisting on your preference for going out while your partner wants to stay in, dig deeper. Ask, why do you want to stay in? What does that provide for you? They might express that they're feeling drained and need some downtime to recharge, while you might want to go out to connect and socialize. This is where the magic happens. When you understand the why behind each other's desires, you can find creative solutions that meet both of your needs. Maybe you compromise on a shorter outing that allows you to socialize but is still respectful of their need for downtime. Or perhaps you plan a fun night in together that brings both of your needs for connection to life. Next, you need to practice active listening during these conversations. This isn't just about hearing the words your partner is saying, it's about understanding their feelings and validating their emotions. When they express their desires, respond with empathy. Say something like, I understand that you want to recharge this weekend because you've been feeling overwhelmed. I get it, this creates an environment of mutual respect and allows both of you to feel valued and understood. Another critical component in creating win-win solutions is collaboration. You are both on the same team, working together toward a common goal. Approach problems with a mindset of exploration. Ask questions like, what can we create together that makes both of us happy? Or how can we both feel fulfilled in this situation? This invites creativity and opens the door to new possibilities you may not have considered before. And don't forget the power of gratitude. When you work together to find solutions that satisfy both partners, celebrate those moments. Acknowledge each other's efforts and express appreciation for the collaboration. This reinforces the idea that working together leads to positive outcomes and strengthens your bond as partners. Creating a win-win situation takes effort, practice, and commitment from both sides, but let me tell you, it's worth it. When you focus on finding solutions that benefit both of you, you elevate not just your relationship, but your entire life. You'll move from a mindset of competition to one of collaboration, where both partners feel heard, valued, and fulfilled. So take that leap. Shift your perspective from compromise to creating win-win solutions. Embrace the abundance mentality, practice active listening, and engage in collaboration. When you do, you'll not only deepen your connection, but create a powerful partnership that can withstand any challenge life throws your way. And that's when you'll experience the true beauty of a loving, thriving relationship. Let's dive deep into the transformative power of gratitude in relationships. You see, gratitude isn't just a nice sentiment, it's a game changer. It has the potential to shift your entire relationship dynamic from one of negativity and dissatisfaction to one of appreciation, joy, and connection. But here's the thing, gratitude requires intention. You have to actively choose to cultivate it in your relationship. Too often we get caught up in the daily grind and start taking our partners for granted. We focus on what they're not doing, the little annoyances, and the issues that frustrate us. What if you made a conscious effort to focus on the things you love about your partner? The little things they do every day that make your life better. That's where the magic begins. Start by creating a daily or weekly practice of gratitude. This can be as simple as taking a moment each day to acknowledge what you appreciate about your partner. Maybe it's how they always make you coffee in the morning, or how they listen to you when you share your thoughts. Make it a habit to express this gratitude out loud. Tell them, I appreciate how you always support me when I'm feeling down. It means the world to me. When you vocalize your gratitude, It not only lifts your partner's spirits, but it also strengthens the bond between you. Gratitude becomes a positive feedback loop. The more you express it, the more they feel valued, and the more they'll want to reciprocate. This creates an environment where both partners feel safe and encouraged to express their love and appreciation openly. But let's go deeper. Gratitude is also about being aware of the little things. Too often we wait for the big milestones, a birthday, an anniversary to express our appreciation. But it's the daily actions that truly matter. Make a conscious effort to notice the small things your partner does. Maybe they cooked dinner, took a trash, or made an effort to ask about your day. Recognize those moments, share with them what their actions mean to you. This practice not only fosters connection, but it also shifts your mindset from one of scarcity to one of abundance. Another powerful way to cultivate gratitude is to create a gratitude journal together. Set aside time each week to reflect on what you both appreciate in your relationship. You can share what you're grateful for in each other, but also express gratitude for the experiences you've had together, those little adventures, the laughter, the support during tough times. This practice not only strengthens your emotional bond, but also reinforces your shared history and the foundation of your partnership. Let's not forget about the power of gratitude during conflicts. When disagreements arise, it's easy to get caught up in negative emotions and lose sight of the bigger picture. But if you can remember to express gratitude, it can diffuse tension and refocus your energy. In the heat of the moment, take a step back and think, what do I appreciate about my partner right now? Maybe it's their commitment to resolving the issue or their willingness to listen to your perspective. By sharing these thoughts, you can create a space for understanding and compassion, even amidst conflict. And here's something to keep in mind. Gratitude doesn't just improve your relationship. It can transform your entire outlook on life. When you consciously choose to focus on the positive aspects of your partner and your relationship, you're training your brain to see the good in all areas of your life. This shift can lead to increased happiness, reduced stress, and a more fulfilling life overall. So embrace the power of gratitude in your relationship. Make it a daily practice to express appreciation for your partner. Recognize the small things they do and share your thoughts in a gratitude journal. This isn't just about saying thank you. It's about creating a culture of appreciation that fosters love, connection, and joy. When you commit to this practice, you'll unlock a deeper level of intimacy and understanding in your relationship. You'll transform your connection from one of routine to one of celebration. And that, my friends, is the key to creating a thriving, loving partnership that stands the test of time. So start today, celebrate each other, celebrate your journey together, and watch your relationship soar to new heights. Let's dive into the incredible power of active listening. I want you to really grasp how transformative this skill can be in your relationships. Listening is more than just hearing words. It's about truly understanding your partner's feelings, thoughts, and experiences. When you practice active listening, you create an environment of trust and connection that can revolutionize how you communicate. First and foremost, active listening is about being fully present. That means putting away distractions, your phone, the TV, anything that pulls your focus away from your partner. When you're having a conversation, make it a priority to give them your undivided attention. Look them in the eye, nod, and show them that you are genuinely engaged in what they're saying. This simple act communicates you matter to me, and your thoughts and feelings are important. Now let's take this a step further. Active listening involves not just hearing the words, but interpreting the emotions behind them. When your partner shares something, pay attention to their tone, body language, and the emotions they express. Ask yourself, what are they really feeling right now? What is the deeper message behind their words? This deeper awareness allows you to connect on a more profound level. Another crucial component of active listening is reflective listening. After your partner shares something, paraphrase what they've said to ensure you understand correctly. You might say, so what I'm hearing is that you're feeling overwhelmed at work and you need more support at home. This not only confirms your understanding, but also shows your partner that you value their perspective. It creates a powerful sense of validation and connection. And here's a key point. Avoid the urge to jump in with solutions immediately. I know it can be tempting, especially if you think you have the perfect answer to their problem. But sometimes your partner isn't looking for solutions, they just want to be heard and understood. Practice patience. Allow them to express themselves fully before you respond. When you do share your thoughts, frame them as support rather than criticism. Use phrases like, "I see where you're coming from and I'd love to help if you want my input," instead of jumping in with a fix-it mentality. Then let's address the elephant in the room, emotional triggers. During conversations, especially difficult ones, you may encounter triggers that evoke strong reactions. When you're actively listening, you have to recognize your own triggers and manage your responses. If your partner says something that sets you off, pause, take a deep breath. This is not the time to react defensively. Instead, ground yourself in the present moment. Remember, the goal is to understand, not to win an argument. One of the most effective techniques for managing triggers is to ask questions instead of making statements. If something they say hits a nerve, say, "Can you help me understand what you meant, Mew?" This approach opens the door for dialogue rather than defensiveness, and it keeps the lines of communication open. And let's not forget about nonverbal cues. Your body language speaks volumes. Lean in, maintain eye contact, and use gestures that show you are engaged. Your partner will feel more connected and understood when they see that you are genuinely present in the moment. Now, here's a powerful takeaway. Make it a practice to summarize what your partner has shared at the end of the conversation. Say something like, "What I'm taking away from our discussion is that you need more support and feel a bit isolated at work. Is that right?" This reinforces your commitment to understanding and shows that you value their feelings. Active listening is a skill that takes practice, but the benefits are immeasurable. When you commit to truly hearing your partner, you create a safe space for vulnerability, honesty, and deeper connection. You'll find that misunderstandings decrease, conflicts become easier to navigate, intimacy grows. So I challenge you to start incorporating active listening into your daily interactions. Make it a non-negotiable part of your communication with your partner. The moment you commit to truly understanding each other is the moment you'll elevate your relationship to new heights. Remember, the goal isn't just to communicate, it's to connect. And that's where the real magic happens. Let's talk about the transformative power of empathy in relationships. Empathy isn't just a buzzword. It's a critical skill that can connection with your partner to extraordinary levels. When you practice empathy, you step into your partner's shoes and truly feel what they're feeling. This creates a bridge of understanding and compassion that can dissolve misunderstandings and build a powerful bond. First, let's break down what empathy really means. It's about more than just recognizing someone's feelings. It's about deeply understanding their emotional experience. When your partner shares something that's bothering them, instead of jumping straight to a solution or even validating their frustration, take a moment to reflect on how they must feel. Ask yourself, what would I feel like if I were in their position? This mindset shift opens the door to a deeper connection. Now, I want you to practice active empathy. This means actively engaging with your partner's feelings. When they share their thoughts, respond with compassion. Say things like, "And imagine how difficult that must be for you," or "It sounds like you're feeling really overwhelmed." By verbalizing this understanding, you not only acknowledge their emotions, but also show that you're committed to being present for them. Here's a powerful truth. Empathy often requires vulnerability. It means being willing to share your own feelings and experiences in return. When you express your own emotions, it creates a safe space for your partner to open up. Vulnerability fosters intimacy, and that's where real connection occurs. Share your own struggles and fears. This reciprocity builds trust and reinforces the idea that you're both in this together. But let's be real, empathy can be challenging, especially during conflicts. When emotions are high, it's easy to get defensive or lose sight of your partner's perspective. This is where you need to ground yourself. Take a breath. Remind yourself that your goal is to understand and set aside your initial reactions. When you can approach the situation with a calm mindset, you're more likely to respond with empathy instead of frustration. Now, another powerful tool is to ask open-ended questions. When your partner shares something, instead of jumping to conclusions, invite them to elaborate. Questions like, "Can you tell me more about that?" or "What's been the hardest part for you?" Show that you genuinely care about their experience. This not only encourages deeper communication, but also demonstrates your willingness to understand their world. And let's talk about listening without judgment. When your partner shares their feelings, especially if they differ from your own, resist the urge to criticize or dismiss them. Instead, approach their emotions with curiosity and compassion. Even if you don't agree with their perspective, remember that their feelings are valid. This validation is key to fostering a sense of safety in your relationship. When your partner feels heard and respected, they're more likely to open up and share their thoughts without fear of judgment. One of the most impactful aspects of empathy is the way it fosters connection. When you understand your partner's emotions and show genuine concern, it creates an unbreakable bond. You're not just partners in life, you're always navigating the challenges together. You develop a deep sense of trust that allows both of you to feel secure in expressing your feelings. Now, I challenge you to put empathy into action. Make a conscious effort to practice empathy every single day. It doesn't have to be a grand gesture sometimes. It's the small, everyday acts of understanding that matter most. Send a supportive text during a tough day. Check in with your partner about their feelings. Or simply take a moment to listen without interrupting. Empathy isn't just a nice to have, it's an essential ingredient for a thriving, loving relationship. When you commit to understanding each other on a deeper level, you unlock the potential for profound connection and intimacy. You create a space where both partners feel safe, valued, and empowered to be their authentic selves.